Time in the market. That's the main question that a lot of us have when it comes to selling sports cards. In particular, for me, baseball cards are one of the most important timing uh, sales that you can have. So today we're going to talk about what prospects, how to find the right prospects to sell, when to buy, when to sell, and also who to stash and how do you decide who to stash. And there's multiple steps for all of this. So bear with me. The first thing I want to show you is this. Well, actually, you know what? We'll come back to MLB trade rumors. The first thing I want to show you is that I'm sure you're all aware of, especially if you're dabbling in baseball cards. But if you go to Google and you type in top 100 MLB prospects, this will take you to Major League Baseball's top 100 ranked prospects. The higher you are on this list, the more valuable your cards are. So, um, this is a great resource if you really have no other resource to look at as far as picking up uh, prospects to stash or to flip, or this adjusts a few times throughout the year. So if you keep an eye on it, you can maybe gauge like who's lower on this list that I can pick, who might end up becoming um, a pretty good sell. Like Dylan Beavers, for example, was called up. He's hitting 275 this year with the Orioles in 26 games so far. Um, things like that you'll be able to use. But the first place you want to go is top 100 prospects. For the most part, these top 100, regardless of the team, will be worth more than your other, not top 100 prospects. Um, with that said, obviously prospects for certain teams sell better, even if the prospect isn't necessarily better than the next one. For example, um, and this isn't saying he's not better than the next one, but Spencer Jones with the Yankees is number 86. Spencer Jones is one of the hottest names in prospects, just in general, as far as consistently selling. Spencer Jones sells well. And he probably sells better than Luis Pena. That's for sure. And I know for sure he for the most part sells better than Bazana right now too, because Bazana plays for my Cleveland Guardians. Um, with that said, Connor Griffin, McGonigal, you know, big names at the top of the list. They sell well, but this is a great first place to go. If you are keen on your own team's market, like I am a diehard Cleveland fan, like it or not, win or lose, you can go buy your team, and you can find, uh, the top 30 prospects per team on this site as well. So it'll go to the top 30. Excuse me. One of my favorite prospects to stash for the last couple years really has been Juan Brito. I've flipped a couple. His market has gone up and down. He's been hurt this year, so it's currently pretty low, which is a good time to stash because I do believe next season he'll be in the majors. With that said, Bazan is an easy buy, uh, in a pretty easy sell. I mean, he's obviously first round, first pick of the 2024 draft. So he's going to be a big name. Chase DeLauder, there's so much hype behind him, and he's been really good so far at every level except he's been injury plagued. Angel Geno, he's what I like to stash. People like to stash him too. Same with Cooper Engel. Jason Chorio, Call Steven we just got from Toronto in the Shane Bieber trade. Jace LaViolette is our draft pick from 2025. He's one that I like a lot, so we'll check him out in the new Bowman product when he drops. Currently, you can get him in Panini products and Leaf products. Ralphie Velasquez, another good name. Um, Parker Messick has been fantastic in the majors. He hasn't had the same type of attention as far as cards go that other prospects that we'll talk about have seen. Rosario, really good. We got him for Eli Morgan. You know, Wellman Francisco was popular for a while. Jacob Cozart is a sneaky buy, in my opinion. Got a lot of pop in that bat. But, excuse me, going up and down this list, especially with a team you're familiar with, players you can see often, you know, with the Cleveland Guardians TV package, I can watch all the minor league games. I live about 15 minutes away from the Lake County Captains, which is our high A team. So I like to buy and sell a lot of these top 30. You can do that with your own team in your own, you know, area if you want, if you feel savvy enough to do that. It's not a requirement. I just wanted to throw that in at the beginning of this because, you know, it's a worthwhile endeavor. I make a lot of money doing this. You pop in before they're big and then sell. Jeez, oh man. Some other great examples of this. He's probably not on this list because he's a rookie. Jacob Mizorowski was a prospect that I liked. He's one that I had a decent amount stashed. And then when he was called up to the majors originally, they were like, we're just going to use him in the bullpen. His market tanked. Nobody wants a reliever. And then this year when he started as a starter, and was decimating the league for a little bit there, his card values skyrocketed. So use this site to see who you want to stash. You know, like I'm going to close my eyes. We'll pick a random team on this list. The Marlins. Okay. Not the greatest random team on the list to stash because they're one of those teams that will have lower value because their team is typically not followed, you know, with as much attention. You know what? We'll do it one more time. Let's go Phillies. Okay, we can deal with the Phillies. Andrew Painter, Aiden Miller, those are guys that are big names. Same with Justin Crawford. If I was gonna look, well, I can tell you who I've stashed. But if I was doing this for the first time, Dante Nori was one of the first round picks. He's had a solid year. Just got promoted to Double A. It looks like. He's a guy you can get for cheap right now. Gabriel Rincones, if I'm saying that right, I try to pronounce it right, but he's got a lot of pop in his bat. Triple A is hitting 240, which is not the greatest. Strikes out 1 in every 4 at bats. I do have some of his stuff stashed away though, but I bought that before. So yeah, so Dante Nori is a cheap buy right now. You can go to eBay. You can check Dante Nori. If you don't know what year his first Bowman is, just type in first Bowman auto. You can look and see. He has a very soft signature. Go down to the sold and completed. That means that they've been paid for and the deals have been done. This is going to be one of your best free sources to see exactly how much cards are selling for. But look, his refractor auto number to $4.99 is going for $37. His orange sapphire went for $205, which is pretty low for a first round pick. $250 first Bowman went for $45. Yeah, he was first round, 27th overall, 2024 draft. I have some Dante Nori. He pops a lot in Panini products, which is another conversation we're going to have here in this video too. What products should you buy? But you can get, obviously, you can see you can get Dante Nori for, I mean, his /99 auto for $55. Once he gets called up, that's gonna, if he gets called up, especially if he gets called up with some hype, you can probably double your money. Especially if we look like, if we go back farther. Let's look, it's $4.99 auto, $25 in August. It's currently $37 in September. Prices are all over a lot of times, but if you get them for this cheap, there's not a lot that can go wrong. Another source you can use that's free, it's not my favorite. I'm going to be totally honest with you. People use it all the time. They quote it like the Bible. It's not that reliable. It is a good resource to use, so don't get me wrong here. I'm usually using this on my phone, so this is a little bit different on here. So, if we were going to go look at, say, those Dante Nori autos, and excuse a little bit of lag here in the video, it's 130 point again. But anyway, if I did 2024 Bowman Draft Dante Nori auto and search. Okay. So we saw his green /99 went for $54.99 according to this. You can match that up here, $54.99, September 12th. So generally, it's relatively accurate. 130 point will typically show you, like this one. On September 11th, it was listed at 40. It sold for 35. Wrong site. So this one, listed at 40, sold for 35. It's one thing that eBay solds and completed don't always show you, and it doesn't always even show you that there was a best offer accepted. Now, when you go to list the item, eBay also has a section, and we can go over that in the future. When you're putting your price in, that shows you like the average price of this, so you can do that. The reason why I don't always trust 130 point, oh wow, look at this, on September 11th, his blue wave refractor to 150 went for $26. This one to 150 went for 45. So you can see his market's a little bit all over the place. But now would be a good time to buy. Prices are low. He's in, what did I say, AA, I think. He's number 6 on their list. He's currently in AA, just got promoted. Spent most of the year in single A, hit 260, hit 280 in 11 games at high A. So he's in AA. But the reason I say 130 point is not always the most accurate, because I have tracked some of my own sales that I know went for cheaper than, or they went for cheaper than what 130 point posted. So it's not always 100% correct. So just keep that in mind. It's a great resource. It's not the end-all resource. Neither is eBay Solds, but when you put those two together, if you're being fair, you should be able to find prices for your items. Okay? So with that said, that's one way I go. I search through the top 100 and see if there's any that I think might be a sneaky pickup. Actually, one that I really like is Briseño's really good. Let's see how he's doing right now. Okay, so in his 45 games since getting promoted to AA, he's hitting 232. A little bit of an adjustment there. This dude is a monster. He is massive. He has ridiculous power. He's hit 20 home runs this year. I watched him decimate the Lake County Captains in high A. But the name I was looking for, also for the Tigers. Tigers have a great farm system. Is he in that? He's not even in the top 100. Let me show you. Let's go to the Detroit Tigers. He's not even in their top. He's in their top 10. Max Anderson. I really like Max Anderson. So he's currently hitting 272 in AAA, but he hit 306 in 90 games in AA. He's only played 27 in AAA this year. 19 home runs in what 480 some at bats. He's only struck out 80, a little over 80 times. I mean, he kind of he's not as fast, but his power and ability to hit kind of remind me a little bit of Jose Ramirez, who's one of my favorite players, obviously. Probably a future Hall of Famer. But Max Anderson is one that I have stashed a ton of. But yeah, so you go. Anderson's not in the top 100. He probably will make some decent waves when he gets called up. He and Max Clark are similar. Max Clark got all the hype. Max Clark is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see where he goes. But Max Anderson's the one who I think will be called up first, obviously, and also currently has been the better minor leaguer. Now that obviously doesn't necessarily mean everything, but all right. So that's how I search. You will do better if you search through more familiar teams. So I'm more familiar with the American League Central. That's where the Guardians are. I see a lot of the players here. But I make my money on prospects. That's where I make the bulk of my money. And so I get familiar with as many prospects as I can. It's tough. There's obviously a ton of prospects, but this is a great way to begin. Okay, so that's how I find the prospects. When I'm done with that, a place I check often is MLB Trade Rumors. It's a great resource. They typically will give you information on trades, call-ups, releases, promotions, like all sorts of the things you need to know about your minor leaguers and really your major leaguers too, if you like to dabble in the veterans and rookies. This is a great resource. So they update multiple times a day. It's people pretty closely affiliated with the MLB. So it's just a really good resource for everything. It's also really fun to check during trade season because they're pretty up to date. So like here, Philly select Rafael Lantigua, September 16th. So that was yesterday. He gives you information. He hit 232 across 500 bats for Lehigh Valley, but they give you all the information on the people. So if you follow this, if you're not necessarily in the city where these people play, or the major league, if you don't follow the major league team as closely as you would your own, this is a great place to check. So if you see them get called up here, that would be a good time to sell. Now let me show you some examples. Trey Savage was called up on the 15th. He made his debut on the 15th for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's a prospect I've stashed. He's a prospect I have really liked since he was drafted first for the Blue Jays in 2024, in the first round, rather. And he's got good stuff. His minor league, let's go find him on the MLB Top 100 Prospects. MLB Top 100 Prospects. All right, so if we go again, go to Toronto. Trey Savage is their number one prospect. It's usually a good sign. So he actually only made 22 starts, and he was 5-1 with a 3.12 ERA. This is again through all levels of the minors this year. So in 98 innings, he had 160 strikeouts. That 160 strikeouts, almost double. Well, maybe not almost double, but that significantly high, far over the innings pitched. That's going to be a good indication of if we think he's going to not even do well, but if he's going to sell well. You want them to do well. and he did well. He pitched 5 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. Um, let me show you his market right now. So he was obviously a 2024 Bowman Draft Trey Savage auto. Again, you got to go. You typically have to do this most times. Go down on the browser. It saves better than it does on your mobile app, which is what I usually use. All right, look at this. Savage. These are all in-person autos, so we ignore the in-person autos. They're fun. You get them verified like this PSA one up here. All well and good. The ones we want to look at are these ones. All right, his refractor auto, 155 yesterday sold. His sapphire auto to 199 sold for 155 also. His purple refractor 250 sold for 200 yesterday. On the day it listed, most likely because it was a new listing. From a person who hasn't sold anything too. That's to 99 sold for 200. 499, 140. You can check 130 point to see maybe where that sold. It's blue to 150 yesterday, sold for 350. And again, these prices could be a little bit different. As we saw on 130 point, sometimes they look like they're there, but they haven't been. Sometimes it shows you that the best offer is accepted. So use the sources together, especially because you don't necessarily want to pay for. There are really good resources that you can pay for that show you completed sales, not just like what they sold for, but like actually paid for. Okay. We could talk about those in a different video, but for this video, I just want to show you how to track these things. Let's just find his base auto. His base auto, $100, best offer was accepted. Let's find one where the best offer. Okay, $99.99 sold yesterday. His PSA 9 apparently sold for 170. Usually PSA 9s go for around the raw price. Oh, it would be a wonderful trend if PSA 9 started going for more than raw price, but the general rule is that raw price PSA 9. 150 again sold for 300. This Mojo refractor, it's not called a Mojo. I think it's a choice. $100. Mojo is a Panini name. Okay, here's another base for $99.99. This one, 85 best offer. Let's look about a week ago. These are all from the 15th. Let's go 4 pages back. August 13th, best offer was accepted on his auto. Went for less than $50. $40. $37. $40. You could get a PSA 10 of his to 99 auto for $350. And granted, his prices are going to be higher than like prospects you find lower on the list. $350 for his PSA 10. I bet you a nickel that PSA 10 is probably closer to 600 now. Let's see if any greens have sold. Because again, the general rule is double raw. So his green sold for 200, so it's at least $400. 250, so maybe 500. This one, look. His first inscription sold for 800 for the orange to 25. Prices are still adjusting, so some of these might be lower, some of them might be higher. But the general thing you can see here is even if we take $85 as the lowest accepted offer on his base auto, that's still more than double what it sold for just a couple weeks ago, probably even last week. So Savage being called up, having a good game, has doubled his market. So if you bought his cards for $30 or $35, even $40, you turn around and sell them at $85, that's more than 50%. You're making double what you paid. So that's like 100%, not 50%. Typically, when I buy cards, I want to make at least 30% of profit. let's take a quick look here. If we spent $40, and let's say there's 8% tax, if we spent $43 on that card and we sold it for 85, we're not going to try selling it for 85. I listed mine at 100, between 100 and 115, because if it sits for a while, I'll drop it back down to 100. Sometimes the mobile app shows you different sales, so 115 might be too high. But let's say we sold for 85 bucks on eBay. On eBay and whatnot, I typically just take out a flat 15.5%. Sometimes it's lower than that, but so 80 times 15.5%, so I'll lose $13 there. So 85 minus, we'll even round up because there was some change. It was like 17 cents, but 85 minus 14, $71 is what I would walk away with. 71 minus 43, $28 in profit for selling him at the right time. Okay. Does this always work? No. So that's why you gotta kind of watch your prospects. Don't go ham on anybody unless you're sure they're gonna be the next big guy. Timing the market is huge. Timing the market is also huge for players like Steven Kwan last year. Being a Cleveland fan, I got to see him firsthand. He's a great contact hitter. His power is increasing now. Last year, I bought his rookie autos for about $25 a card. Sent them both to PSA, so about $20 a card there. So what? Let's say $90 all in, maybe $100 all in. They both gemmed. They both came back PSA 10s. His rookie auto from Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary. I sold one. Well, MLB Network picked him up because he was hitting 400 after coming off the IL, and he was consistently hitting like he was on a tear. I sold one of those slabs for $405, if not more. Quadrupled what I invested in that card. Timing is key. That's why it's important to buy people on your teams. If you think they're going to be good, if you see something that everybody else doesn't see because it's not picked up yet, that's the key. That's like the Q zone, right? That's where you make all your money. That's where you make your biggest amount of money. Timing your buys is important, and a lot of times you'll be able to make a profit anyway as they get promoted level to level to level. But getting that sweet spot timing is key. All right. Trey Savage, I would say if you have him, list him today. List him now. Do it. Because Peyton Tolley, for example, when he got called up, he had a great first game. His market skyrocketed. Let's look here. 2024 Prospect Edition, which is Panini. So it's a product we break a lot. We like it. We have a lot of fun with it. And it's cheap. Peyton Tolley auto. Let's see where it's at right now. I have a couple of these listed. His auto has tanked, but it skyrocketed there for a while. Okay, so this one to 149 sold for $100 in September on September 7th, so 10 days ago. There's no recent ones of 149, but like his 199 is 87, so it tracks. His base on the 8th sold for 50, but his base green is from the Blasters. His base went for less than 20. So 35 to 20 on the 16th. So, but when he got called up and he had a great start, like this one's 75, $86, $199, $100. So Panini market's all over the place. I recommend never starting cards on auction because 9 out of 10 times you're going to get smoked. Unless it's like a big name. But yeah, okay, September 1st, 149, sold for 150. 149 sold for 180. Uh, Inserts typically don't do as well. 125 sold for 130. So again, and here's his base, $80, $100, and then he didn't do so well the next like three starts. They're benching him to make sure he stays healthy. He's their top pitching prospect. His market has crashed, right? So if you had a Peyton Tolley card, selling it around that call up time, end of August, was your opportunity. And that's one where if you listed too high, like you try to get the high end of those comps and he didn't do well, that's why you savage, like list him at the average comp price and it'll sell quick, because if his next start doesn't go well, his price might drop. So it's all about timing. Jonah Tong, we could go through here and take a look at Jonah Tong. And then there's other people like Nick Kurtz, who his market has been pretty, a solid incline. Cal Raleigh was worthless last year. I mean, he's always been fine. Like as a player, he's been good. Selling his cards, been tough. Now, I mean, I sold a Series 2 auto of his at graded an 8.5 with SGC. Sold it for over $100. Not a rookie. It was a paper auto from 2024 Series 2. But like, let's look here. 2022 Topps Chrome Cal Raleigh. This is the market. I haven't looked at this. It's $350 for $299. Those are chase packs. Don't look at that. This is Topps Chrome Black, $275. $70. I don't ever trust anybody who's like investment card. Is Topps? This is a 2025 Topps Archives. So this is one of their reprints. $255. 2022 to $499. $400. He just broke Mickey Mantle's record for switch hitting home runs. His cards are going to sell. Okay? It's I mean, just look. I mean, this is his blue refractor to 150 from 2023 that looks like Topps Chrome. $60 for a blue. Jose Ramirez doesn't even get that. Okay? So it's just timing the market, picking place. There's a great story. I think it was a woman who bought Cal Raleigh's rookie superfractor auto for like $300, maybe $600. She just sold it for like $65,000 because of his year he's having. So it's worth it. It's worth it to stash people you think are going to be good, or if you collect them, awesome, and they go off, you want to sell some, do it. But timing the market is where you're going to make your biggest amount of money. Prospects are the easiest to do this with. This Cal Raleigh is like a phenomenon because it's like he's been good. He's always had power, but this year has kind of come out of nowhere. And his market will probably be like this for a while. So if you have Cal Raleigh cards, you're probably safe to list and sell. He most likely will win the MVP this year. I don't think Judge can run away with it this year. I mean, Judge maybe wins it. Cal Raleigh's, he'll be a close second. So it's not a brief video, but this is step-by-step processes I use to look to find cards, to find players to invest in, to hold. Sometimes I'll sit and stash. I'll show you one more as an example. I got lucky with a box of 2024 Bowman Draft that I bought. It had a snack pack in it. Those are super rare. I decided to open it. I could have sold the pack itself for like $700 at the time. But 2024 Bowman Draft. I just pulled a Bryce Eldridge. I think it was the sunflower seeds. Okay. Wow, his PSA 10 just sold for $180. That's low. Um, that was on the 11th, right before he got called up, because he just got called up. Let me see if we can find. Okay, so his peanuts snack pack, 200 best offer. Let's. I want to say that one was maybe 125 when I looked at 130 point is maybe what it said. But that was August 6th. I was selling for that. Look at Traeger Savages, sunflower seeds, first auto to 5, just sold for 1650. Heck, his refractor to 250. Do we have any good examples here that have sold? Ryan Sloan. Wow. Okay, his orange paper from draft to 29, $80 in August. I bet you a nickel that goes up. But he was just called up. There's not a great example here of anything that sold since he was called up. Maybe these two. Oh, well, no, that was August. September 14th. I would have to go back and check what day he was called up. I believe it was after the 11th. This person not only got a steal, probably could sell it for significantly higher. All right. So in any case, that is my process to find players to buy and then resell. I've had some pretty good luck with it. If you find good raw cards and send them and grade them, they come back tens. You can typically sell them for double what you paid for. That is a gamble, but this is one of my processes for finding stuff to sell. Hopefully you find it helpful. Hopefully this will help you on your journey. I'm going to post a short here soon of top players to sell right now. But please follow, like, all of those things, subscribe, and we're going to try and help you make some money.